Hey guys, Josh here. Today I am bringing you the second part of the Witchdoctor guide, and that today I'll hopefully do the trick in running through how to get the Witchdoctor Mask. Now, this requires you to more or less run through every cycle or every possible alternative combination, whatever you want to call it, of all the flowers, bushes, tree, and the construction thing in the middle. So I'll run through basically, like I'll commentate how I'm going through it, and hopefully the God Jadinkos aren't too annoying. But the idea is that you catch Zamorak, Ceradomin, and Guthix Jadinko, and by catching one of each, you're entitled to a mask. So here we go. I just went back to the bank to get my other mask because I just remembered that to get a second one you have to drop the ones you have. So if any of you are getting another one, placeholder or whatnot, just make sure to drop the one you already have. Otherwise, no mask for you that week. Another thing I will add is that each Jadinko has a different colour. So once you find out that if you attract one Jadinko, then you can eliminate one of those seeds from the other two, which is really great. And they also are generally, well, as far as I'm aware, all three are attracted to the same tree, which makes it a lot easier. And seeing as bush seeds are the hardest to get, we will try and keep that as keep the bush as it is as long as we can, as to not go through the bush seeds too quickly. Just going to cover the inventory. So one of each, or some of each bush seed, some of each of the flower seeds. Hunter potions, as the God Jadinkos are always attracted to the hunter potions, so that must always be active. Traps to catch them. Summoning familiar just to boost the hunter when you are hunting them. Couple of each tree, and a spade to dig up bushes, etc. that aren't fully grown. So first up, hunter potion on the blue vine. Now I might just put my game filter on to play it safe. Sometimes it doesn't always pop up straight away, so wait a couple of seconds or so before rotating on to the next. And look at that, guys, easy as pie. That was quite ridiculous actually. So now we can go and get us a Zamorak Jadinko. Now just set the traps as you would any other time. Summon the familiar if need be. And hopefully it won't take too long to catch one. And just like that, that is one Zamorak Jadinko caught in one of the three complete. Now that we have that combination, we can rule out the blue vine from being in any of the other two. So first off, take that out, and we can also say that the orange tree is going to be used for the other two. Apparently it's quite rare that it isn't, so I'm really hoping this isn't one of those times. Now just like before, so we plant the green. They say that the hunter potion keeps working, but I'm just going to play it extra safe. And just like before, start cycling through all the features. And straight away, 3 requirements of a Guthix Jadinko, so we can assume that it is an empty feature that is going in the middle, and now we have to analyze all the other 3. Okay, so first off, I'm going to try, I'll put the blue down here so we don't use that. I will swap out the green vine because those are the easiest to obtain, so I don't mind churning through a few of those. And put the red in. And nothing. So we can safely say, if we take this out, that it is the green blossom that is attracting the Guthix Jadinko. Now, I will try swap the bush seeds around. And there we go. Easy as that. So no bush, no feature, green vine, and still the orange tree. And just like the Zamorak Jadinkos, lay the traps. And that is 2 out of the 3 caught. Okay, so this brings us to the Ceradoman Jadinko. Keep the orange tree. We now know that green and blue have both been used, so we can safely put the red in there. Oh, empty that. Plant the red. Now, like I said before, the feature is free, assuming you've got the construction level, so this is the best option to rotate around. I would assume that we now have, we know it's going to be the red, the orange, so we have 2 of the 4. So hopefully cycling through all the features will give us a notification saying that the third has, that 3 requirements have been met. And there we go, 3 requirements to meet a Ceradoman Jadinko. So we have the orange, we have the flower, we have the feature, and lastly, the rarest seeds to get, we start using the bush seeds to see which one it is. And first time, Lurgberry, Ceradoman Jadinkos are attracted, so we can now go and catch those. And that is 3 God Jadinkos. Now, I would have to drop these, and once you have caught those 3, you talk to him. Obviously, it's not going to say anything because you have to catch 10. You have to catch the 10 normal ones in the same week as the 3 gods. So my guide showing how to get the normal robes and this both complement each other in that you have to do it in the same week. Doing just the 3 in a week does not get you the mask. However, this can be done to your advantage, as going through all 10 normal Jadinkos can often give you a combination. Quite often, because you go through 10 combinations at least in order to catch all the normal Jadinkos. Quite often you'll get a notification saying you've met 2 requirements, 3 requirements, 4 requirements, and that helps a lot. And while you're doing those 10, just note down what combination you've got at that time, so that once you've caught all 10, got that out of the way, you can then come forward and you've got something to go by at least. Right, so seeing as I got lucky with the first 3, it didn't really help as much as I would have in terms of showing you a method to go around cycling through the rotations to try and save certain seeds, etc. So now that I know the combinations, I'll try and drag it out a bit. I'll do it for one Jadinko, as you pretty much just do that for each of the 3. And of course, once you do the first one, you identify the tree to keep, and you identify what flower that you don't use for the other 2. Alrighty, so empty, 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 and empty. Ignore the herb, of course, not applicable. So, with the blue, we'll start off with this. And of course, don't forget the hunter potion. Right. So the flower's easy. Now, you need to use a tree. So, what tree shall we use? Let's start with banana. And let's start cycling through all these options to see if we get a notification. So we've met 2 of the requirements to attract a Zamorak Jadinko, so we know that tall grass is going to stay the same. Now, we know that either the tree or the flower is right. So if we want to see whether the tree's right, we go through the other types of flowers to see if it goes from 2 requirements to 3. So dig up this flower again. And plant a red. Nothing. Dig up the red. Plant a green. Nothing again. So that should hopefully mean that we're after the blue flower for the Zamorak Jadinko. So plant the blue back in, and now we go through and rotate the trees. So dig the tree back up, now we have to see if we can get 3 from the trees. So banana's unsuccessful, so let's try apple. Still nothing. So dig the apple up. And try the orange. And there we go. And there's a Zamorak Jadinko turns up next to you to show that that's what you've helped to attract. So now we have 3. We can say that it's blue with tall grass and an orange tree. Now it's up to the bush patch to see what the fourth and final seed is going to be. So we'll start off using a calfaberry. Also note that there can be no bush, as you saw earlier, so that's why it's good to start with no bush so you don't waste seeds prematurely. So let's try the calfaberry. Still nothing. So dig that back up. And hopefully the lurgberry works. There we go. So from there, you obviously go and catch the Jadinko, the Zamorak Jadinko. When you come back, this is what I would do. I would dig this up. Nope, not that. Dig up the blue. So you now know that the blue is not used, as each colour is only used once per Jadinko. So we could try the red. So plant the red in. Leave the orange tree. Leave the bush, since those bush seeds are more valuable. And now start cycling through all the options of the features, starting at the top. And there we go, Zamorak, Saradomin Jadinkos, sorry. So obviously the feature's easy to rotate. It's free if you've got 80 construction, I think, and that does help a lot. So now we know that Sara is red, orange, standing stones, and lurgberry. We go and catch the Saradomin Jadinko, come back as before, change the red seed to the green seed, as that is the final colour, process of elimination. So the first one is more or less the trickiest. You've got to find the tree and the right colour. The second one becomes easier because you know the tree and you're down to 2 choices of flower, and the final one is what's left. So now that we have 1 and 2, we're looking for a notification of 3 of the same requirements. So just like with the second one, let's start rotating through the features from the beginning again. And just like that, we have 3 of the requirements to attract a Guthix Jadinko. So just the bush left to worry about now. We can say that it isn't the lurgberry. However, remember that no bush is an option, so hopefully it is. And there we go, attract Guthix Jadinkos to the nearby island. Obviously, if no bush wasn't the right one, you'd plant the Calfaberry or whichever one you didn't just have planted, and hopefully that would work. Now, that's a bit more detailed, obviously. Sorry about the long video. I showed you how to catch them previously, so I didn't need to repeat myself. I really hope that helped. It can get a bit. It's a lot easier to show someone how to do it sometimes than to be reading about it. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help you guys out. The first time I learnt, I knew I was hassling a few people about it because I was, reading the website just wasn't doing it for me. So it was, once I did it once, I got the hang of it. And yeah, so I hope this helps. Hopefully you managed to get the lurgberry and calfaberry seeds alright. I know that cutting the vines up in the dungeon north while I'm training fire making actually helps a lot to getting seeds that way, or obviously if you've trained hunter here then you might have a stockpile. So anyway guys, and until next time, take care.